play for the senior national team of your home country is a dream which every professional player has. It would have been better to be not that successful with the team or in the first period of my career, because maybe I would have been more hungry. If a young athlete is successful now, it's more difficult than it has been before. The social media can put so much pressure on you. Negative part of my career was when my contract with my childhood club, Sturm Graz, has not been extended. So I was injured. I was just on my way back and I had no club. I played 7 years in the Bundesliga. Suddenly nobody wants you and you have to go down to the second league. During my first phase of rehabilitation, where I recognized, it can be over soon, because then it won't be easy to, let's be honest, to earn money with the thing you love. You have to be prepared for your career after your career. I would not agree that when you retire, you die as an athlete. Like Henri that's another level. Everyone knew him because of what he can do on the field, and no one knows what he can do outside the pitch. So I have now time for sports. Love to play tennis. I like to play golf. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy it more. That's something which I would advise to my younger self. 15 years, if it's a long career, it goes like this and it's over.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our next Podball episode. I am Christos Papadimitriou, a professional athlete and the founder of Podball. Our guest for today is Christian Klem. Christian recently retired from football after playing 299 games in the first Bundesliga in Austria. He was part of football clubs such as Sturm Graz, Wacker Innsbruck and Hartberg. So with Christian, we graduated in the same year from UCN Denmark, completing our bachelor's degree in sports management. So I'm very, very happy to have him here. So Christian, welcome to Podball. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Christos. I'm happy to be here. To be honest, my first podcast, but I'm very excited.
So Christian, could you share with us the key influences and experiences that have shaped you into the person you are today?
Yeah, I would introduce myself as a former professional football. It's still a bit weird because it's so fresh. I played my last game in May, I guess, but I'm very happy with my decision. And although it was not easy and it was well developed, this decision, but right now I'm very happy and more happy to be here and to talk with you.
So you played 299 games, if Transfermarkt doesn't lie, in the Austrian Bundesliga. You won the league and the cup with Sturm Graz and participated in the Europa League. Are you happy with your career?
First of all, it's funny that you say this number, 299. I recently had an interview where the journalist asked me a similar question, and I had to correct him that I have 302 games in the league, because there were 3 games in the playoff that's also counted as Bundesliga games. So I had to correct him, and I have to correct you that I have 302 games and not 299. The experiences I made and the career I had overall, I think I can say that I'm happy with it. I made a lot out of it. There would have been some room for more, but in the end, I'm very satisfied and I'm happy with my career.
So would you have liked to try your luck abroad? Is that something you are missing or you would like to have tried?
To be honest, it was never the huge goal of mine. I like it here in Austria. I'm very family bound. I'm very connected to my friends, and for me, it was always more important to live in an environment which I feel comfortable than to go abroad and maybe don't like it there, and I'm not as happy as I would have been at home. But of course, it's always depending on which type of person you are. I think in my case, I'm very satisfied to have not played abroad. But to be honest, there have not been this huge opportunity or this offer I could not resist to go abroad. That's also why I always stayed in Austria.
I saw you played for the Austrian national team from the under 16 to under 21. which is an impressive accomplishment. Every athlete would like to wear the jersey of his country. So considering now your journey was being part of the senior national team, something you wanted and never happened?
Like you said, to play for the senior national team of your home country is a dream which I think almost every player or every professional player has. At some stage of my career, like I said, I recognize it's not enough. There are many other players which are better, and you have to accept it at one time.
I saw that you won your first title at the age of 19, and at 20 you secured the championship with Sturm Graz. What do you remember from those days? If you had to go back now, what is that the moments that are still in your mind?
Yeah, it was crazy. When you look at it now, maybe it was not that good that I already won the league or was that successful in I guess it was my first or second season. I think the season before I had maybe, I was not really always part of the first team, but in the first season I was, or a serious part of the first team. We already won the league. So maybe when you look at it now, it was not the perfect timing. Maybe it would have been better to be not that successful with the team in the first stages of in the first period of my career, because maybe I would have been more hungry, and the seasons after that. But when you look at it now, I'm also very proud that I put myself into it. I think I had 18 games I played during this season. So that's not that bad for this age. And yeah.
So how did you deal with all the success? I mean, I guess your phone was ringing the whole time. People were calling you. People were telling you congratulations, and that's something in this age. I don't know. You had something before that you knew how to deal with it. So how was it for you? How was this period?
It's still almost now 13 years ago. So this whole social media thing wasn't that present at this time. But of course, the phone calls or the congratulations and the messages was very much. But if it would have happened now, I think it's more difficult than it has been before, because this whole social media and other stuff can put so much pressure on you. But at that time, it wasn't that present. This, like I said, this social media and you were not this public for other. You
Yes.
got mainly messages from persons you know. So yeah, that was something which kept me on the ground. But also, of course, my family and my friends, which always helped me to put both of my feet on the ground.
Which is very important at this age, especially in sports.
Of course, especially in this age, it's very important to have a humble background, which, like I said, keep your feet on the ground, because other ones let you fly, but your family has to keep you down.
Absolutely, and especially when you have a success like this, agents, people are coming closer to you because of your success. So actually, this is the moment where you need the right people around you.
Yeah, of course. And well, you said agents, but you need also the right agents.
Absolutely.
If you have an agent, especially at this time, you need the right agent.
I would definitely agree. I just said to a friend of mine who managed to have an agent who was also a friend of his. I told him you are very lucky, because having someone who is also your friend representing you, it's not something you find on a daily basis. So we spoke about your long career. You played for big clubs here in Austria, but we spoke about success. But as we both know in sports, there is no success without setbacks. So did you have any serious injury that caused you a big problem during your career, and how did you deal with it?
Negative part of my career was when my contract with my childhood club, Sturm Graz, has not been extended. That was one of my first setbacks, and where I had to orientate myself in different ways. I had my first real serious injury. Was one of the worst you can have as a footballer. It was I ruptured my ACL. It was, and also the timing was the worst you can have. It was in the summer of my last contract year with VAT, with Wolfsberg, where I tore my ACL. The reha was good. The rehabilitation program was really good. I could do my first practice with the team in winter, I think in February or something like that. So that's about 7 months or 8 months after the surgery. So that was good. But in the second or third practice with the team, I got another hit on the same knee. Yeah, the inner side from the knee, it was torn. So I had to do a surgery again. And then I got back from this injury in summer, but my contract ended and the club did not extend my contract. So I was injured, or I was just on my way back and I had no club.
Well, that is a very hard moment.
That was the hardest challenge, like you said, from my career.
Did you have your family? Did you have someone that was supporting you? Because the team keeps playing, but you are coming to the dressing room. You see the team go. The team goes out for training, but still you can't compete. And you do have to go to the physio and do all this training on your own. So how was this mentally for you?
Yeah, mentally it was very tough because I have not been used to it. I played at this time I was 25 or no 26, and until this time the longest time I have not been taking part of the training was, I think, 2 weeks or something like that. And suddenly you're out of the training out of practice for 6 months, 7 months. It was very hard. And how did I deal with it? Again, I'm very thankful for my friends, for my family. At this time also the physios, the doctor. It was very professional, to be honest. That was something that kept me motivated. But most of all, my family and my friends took care of me during that hard period. Especially my wife was very helpful at this time.
That's very important. So you are injured. You are without a club. So what did you do next? How did you find your next club?
Yeah, of course. Here in Austria, the union is organizing a training camp for professionals who have no contract. I don't know if I heard about that.
Yes, I know.
Here in Austria, yeah. Initiative and a very good opportunity to stay fit, to stay match fit, to stay no run or no workout alone. Gives you the preparation for matches like a practice with team does. So that was very important, and I joined that camp. I kept pretty fit at this time, thanks to this camp. I kept fit at the former colleague at SK Sturm Graz, who was coach at this time at SV Lafnitz, a second league team. Yes. He asked me, or it's better to say, I asked him if I could join the training to stay fit. To be honest, I just wanted to stay in the dressing room because
to have the feeling.
That's something which is the feeling of being present in a dressing room, to joke around with colleagues. That's something very, very important, especially for me. And I wanted to keep that. So I asked him to join, if I could join the training. And at some point he said, yeah, come to us and stay with us. And then I stayed at SV Lafnitz at the second league club for about 4 months, I guess, until winter break. Mm-hmm. But I always communicated with him that if I have the opportunity to go to the Bundesliga or to a better league, and that's something I'm very thankful that he kept his word. And then in the winter break, Wacker Innsbruck came and asked if I can join their team, and I'm very, very happy that I did that. And even though we got relegated at the end of the season, it was good, because after that I could join Hartberg, where I stayed the last 4 years.
That's really important what you said, because there are so many players out there that they are facing a very similar situation right now, and listening to your story can learn something from the things you did. Because I hear
Yeah.
you're saying you were proactive. You did join this union. This union kept you fit, which is very important during this time. Afterwards, you did find through a contact another club that you could train with. That at the end appeared that you also stayed and led you to the next club, which was in Bundesliga.
Again, that's a journey, and the journey is not always going straight up the hill. And there was, in the end, it was good that I took this step back and went one league down, because after that I could, almost 5 years. I could play Bundesliga for almost 5 years again. So,
Yes.
this step back was definitely something which, of course, I'm honest, it was not easy for me, because I played 7 years in the Bundesliga, and suddenly nobody wants you and you have to go down to the second league. It's hard to deal with. I think you can't be prepared for that, to be honest. Or this step down to a second league team was very important for me.
Because at the end of the day, it's you did this step back, but the most important is to play games. And you joined a club where
Of
you
course.
could play, where you could show yourself again. And only through games you can just attract the clubs from the first league.
Yeah, like you said, no scout or no coach comes to watch you when you train alone. That's something which is fact, and you have to be visible, and that's also something which was on my mind when I did this.
Not a lot of athletes are do it, which is the dual career. You pursue a dual career. So it's also where I met you, where we exchanged messages in projects we had, because I guess for both of us it was a new challenge. Can you share your journey of competing at a professional level while you're pursuing your bachelor's degree?
So if I go back again to my time where I had my first injury, it was exactly at this time during my first phase of rehabilitation, where I recognized, oh, okay, it can be over soon, because if I have the same injury again on the same knee, maybe, then it won't be easy to, let's be honest, to earn money with the thing you love. So you have to be prepared for your career after your career. So that's also something which I learned from this. We called it failure. Again, the union in Austria, it provides a program which is called KADA, Karriere danach, where you can talk with a person. What are you interested in? What do you want to do afterwards, or something like that? And after this talk, they provide you some opportunities for study or something else. And there I came to the study, which we both graduated in.
Yes.
I don't know how it was for you, but the first, I would say, months of the study, it was very difficult, because to be honest, I started this study with, I think I was 28 when I started this study. And the last time I learned something, or I tried to learn something, was when I went to school, and that was almost 9 years ago. So the first month of this study was very hard, because it's, like, you know it the best, it's very much about time management, self-discipline. If you do nothing for this study for about, I don't know, 3 weeks or something, you're so much behind that you can't cope with it anymore. To be honest, it was very hard, especially at the beginning, to sit down in the evening, watch the lectures, prepare something for your exam, write a report. That's something which was very important for me, which I did the first time, to be honest, at this stage. But again, I'm so thankful that I did this, because again, I learned so much, not just in relation to the study. I learned very much about time management. That's something which was very important for me, because I was not that good before, to be honest, in this discipline.
So it was a big challenge, because that was like, I listened to your story and I can definitely resonate with it. For me, the first few months, it was like I was almost ready to quit. But then is when I realized this competitive spirit I had. I said, why I cannot manage to do it? Because one thing it's to talk, another thing is to put your thoughts into a paper, and also another thing to write everything academically, which was which I basically never did in school, to be honest.
Yeah,
Because,
and in a foreign language.
Absolutely.
In our cases,
Absolutely.
in a foreign
Yes.
language also, it's also something which has to be stated.
Of course, now in retrospect, it is a decision that I'm very happy that I made, because you do see so many things with this program. You had the opportunity to do these internships, which of course you learn how the corporate world works, and there are so many things you can just implement in the real life situations from all this theory we learned and all these models we worked with.
Not just this theory. I can say it from my view now. I already started my career after my career. I have a job now. I also had to do an interview to get this job I have right now. And I was very lucky that my current boss is interested in sports. He said to me, I was very interesting for his company. He managed an ice hockey club in Austria before, so he knows something about sport and how this business works. And he said to me, it's very impressive, and he knows how difficult it is to graduate or to do a study during your career. So that's something that says very much about your personality and about your strong will to achieve something. As you can see, it has nothing to do with what you study. It's impressive for some people, at least, to see that sports or that athletes do study and do it while they still are active. So that's something which has impressed my current boss, and I'm very thankful for that.
And it's also something I realized. I had also some interviews also during my internships, but also because I was interested in real estate, I was just curious to learn about this branch. When I did these interviews, I just saw that people are very interested in athletes, meaning that because an athlete is coming with all these abilities, as you said, self-discipline, you are easy to be coached from someone because you have been coached all your life. You have this, you are ambitious, you want to get your goal done, you want to get your task over and to move to the next one. And these are some skills that really business people are looking for.
Yeah, and as an athlete, you're pretty social, so that means you can deal with other people. You're in the dressing room with 20 other guys, and
exactly.
Yeah, you're used to it, to talk to people, to be with people, to be social, and that's also something.
So let's now move to transitioning in life after sports, what you basically did. I recently heard an interview from Thierry Henry. I don't know if you heard about it, where he stated that when you retire as an athlete, you die. And on Podball, through our transition coaching programs, we try to help athletes to have a smooth transition in life after sports. So given your recent retirement, what was the next day like for you?
Actually, I heard that quote from Henri, to be honest. I would not agree with that, to be honest, at least in my case. But maybe it's also because I was pretty good prepared to that moment. Like you said, because of the study we did. I knew when I quit, I have something in my hands. I also prepared mentally the last 6 months at least to that. It was a decision which I really, like I said, it was not easy, but it was well developed. I would not disagree. I would not agree that when you retire, you die as an athlete. It's a pretty hard state or a pretty hard quote, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also because maybe these, like Henri that's another level, he was always just, everyone knew him because of what he can do on the field, and no one knows what he can do outside the pitch. So I deal with people, or I had to do with people who also know what I can do outside the pitch. So that's
Yes.
maybe the big difference.
How did you replace your training schedule? Because one week you have 7 trainings and 1 game. The next week you don't have any trainings anymore. So what
Yeah,
did you do?
that's something which is very, very difficult, to be honest. Of course, I have a job now. The time is not there anymore. That's
Mm-hmm.
something you have to be honest about. A good example is when we had holidays, I never liked to go running. I hated it, to be honest. I hated it. I still don't like to run, to go outside and run. The good thing is I have now time for sports, which I haven't been able to do the last 15 years. I always loved to play tennis. I like to play paddle tennis. I like to play golf. That's something which you have now very, very much time for, or not very much,
Yes.
but more time. I join some friends who play football indoor. So that's something also you don't do during your professional career.
Exactly.
That's something I really enjoy. The only cardio sport I do right now is cycling. I like to go cycling. I bought myself a new bicycle now, a race bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to buy something like that. I always like to watch the Tour de France, and that's something I always wanted to do. But yeah, I don't have enough time, to be honest, to do that. But yeah, when it's getting warm again, when it's getting summer again, I think it will be better. But yeah, of course, it's something you have to take serious. When you like you said, you do sports 7 times a week, and suddenly you don't have to do it or have to do it anymore. It's not your job anymore. It's very hard, at least for me, to motivate myself and do something, but it's getting better. Let's say it like that.
But it still sounds that you're very happy with your retirement. I see you're
Well,
enjoying life.
yeah. That's definitely the case. That's
So
definitely the case.
you don't miss this
But
this pressure from sports. You don't miss this this stress, because there is a lot of stress doing a competitive sports like football.
of course. Until now, I don't miss it, to be honest. Still very happy. I always thought, that's why I always said to play in lower leagues, like fourth, fifth league in Austria or something like that. I always said, yeah, I will wait until winter. Maybe I have the motivation then again, or maybe I miss football this much to join a club again, a non-professional club. But yeah, until now, I don't have this motivation. And that's also something which I always said, I don't want to do it with 50%,
Yes.
If I join a club, even if it's just a fifth league club or something like that, I want to do it with 100%, and it would not be fair for the club if I just go there and don't give everything. I don't feel like I need this adrenaline right now. But again, I think it's something which it depends on your type. It's different from person to person, from athlete to
Absolutely.
athlete.
I would definitely agree on that. So now, coming slowly to the end, I would like to ask you. I have a question that I always like to ask my guests, which is you, like, imagining yourself waking up tomorrow with all the knowledge and wisdom you have gained over the years. What advice would you give to yourself as you start on your football career?
It's a good question. I never thought about that. I would say enjoy it more. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy it more. Don't put yourself too much under pressure. It's over too soon. This career, 15 years. If it's a long career, it's over. It goes like this, and it's over. So enjoy it more. Don't put yourself too much under pressure. That's something which I would advise to my younger self.
That's a very good advice, and it's very true as well. So now I have prepared for you the fire round, which are 5 questions, and you have to reply to me with either by saying a word or a phrase.
Okay.
Ready? What is the best advice you ever received?
As a fullback, never be the person who failures the offside trap. Never be the last person in the back four as a fullback.
And what is the worst advice you ever received?
The worst advice, in retrospective, I'm lucky. I never got a bad advice in my career.
Or maybe you didn't pay attention, which is also a good thing.
Yeah. Or maybe I didn't hear it.
Yes. So what is your biggest lesson from last year?
There's a beautiful life outside the sports business.
And the final question, what is your main goal for 2024?
The main goal for 2024 is do more sports, be more active, stay as happy as you are now.
Great. And that was really my last question. And I would like really to thank you for taking the time and also for sharing all this wisdom with us. And I hope our listeners, athletes or non-athletes, will resonate with your story and learn from it.
Yeah, I say thank you, and I really appreciate it that you think about me when it comes to your podcast. And I already said that to you, but I think it's great what you do, and it's very important.
So that was all. So in the meantime, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a 5-star review on Spotify, but only if you enjoyed today's episode. You can find everything you need to know about football in the description below. Wish you all a great evening.